Wow, we back. Live out your dreams. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And today we just gonna talk about how Florida State went 2-10 last year. How it was all set up for them to just make the right decision, but they interviewed Coach Prime right before Shador was going into his freshman season. Travis Hunter was already committed there, and Deion Sanders got an opportunity to get an interview. Now he said he knocked it out of the park, which I know he did, and he is Florida State's own, right? Wrong. We can't give you that job, Deion. That job is not for you, boy, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's what they told Deion. And now, if you look at it, you see that was the wrong decision. Florida State went 2-10 last year. Florida State 2-10 last year. And it's crazy because that one decision could have changed a whole lot for that franchise, for that school, for everything. But at the same time, it was the right decision because it showed what Deion can really do from an HBCU to the worst school in the big boy leagues, from Travis Hunter being a Heisman candidate, Heisman winner, all under Deion. You know what I'm saying? And Shador Sanders being the best pure quarterback in a long time. And can you imagine Deion in Florida at home? And he can have his boys just come home in recruiting instead of having to go get Jimmy Horn and them from Florida, LeJontay from Florida, Xavier from Florida. They already in Florida. All they got to do is come home with Deion. That would have been marketing money. That would have been marketing genius. That would have been money on top of money. They already with Nike. But at the end of the day, we can't give you that job, boy. And you know why. You know why you can't get that job, boy. I don't even know why you try to come up here and make it look like whoop de whoop whoop whoop. We gonna send your black ass down there to Jackson State. And the only reason, remember one of my old videos, my best videos was the only reason Deion got to the next level is because he got the number one recruit in the nation to go to an HBCU down a level. And that scared all the movers and shakers. That scared the whole foundation. That scared the whole everything. So they're like, okay, hold on. We got to get this Negro up. We got to get him up. We're going to send him to the worst school in the nation, Colorado. And Deion still going to handle it. And Deion still handled his business. Got a Heisman winner. Changed all the money, the prime effect money-wise. And changing the school, the football team for the better, as you see. But I just want to talk about how Florida State fumbled the whole ball. And this is a little bit of what Deion said about it. At that time, right before, this is right after he signed Travis.
The fact that you took Travis Hunter from Florida State, what does that mean? Does it mean something to you?
I don't think he never belonged to them. I don't think I took him. I don't think he ever belonged to them.
Okay.
And I saw the burning of the jerseys in the case. I saw all the foolishness. I laughed my butt off, first of all. But this.
Can you imagine they burning Deion Sanders' jersey after how he done for Florida State? After how many times he done came in for the program, showed love to the program, recruited for the program, and y'all gonna bury Deion's jersey? Okay, cool, bit.
This is something I don't understand, and I wasn't gonna say this, Rich, but you my guy, so I got to say it on your show.
Okay.
I think it was either a year before or a year before that is that your head coach, who I'm very fond of, who I think is a great coach, who I think is going to do tremendous feats for my alma mater, called me to help him recruit a kid out of Louisiana. And I FaceTimed the kid, I FaceTimed the mother, and I did my thing. Florida State has been using me for years to do what I do, to help influence these kids to come to the wonderful alma mater. No problem. I did it. I believe the kid signed. So what's the difference of me doing that and doing it for myself? So it was good enough for you, but it's not good enough for me. That's what I have a problem with. So you're saying now I'm good enough to get you players, but the player, or I'm not good enough to get me players. Which one is it? Are we not good enough at Jackson State, or I'm not good enough as a person? I would like that answer.
I don't know if you're going to get that answer, Dion, but
I know, Rich, but does it make sense to you? I mean, I'm really that's the thing.
I know.
You know how many years Florida State has been selling me and my accolades and what I've accomplished to come to that wonderful, prestigious university, which I'm proud of.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to sell me, why don't sell me? You selling me. I can't sell me.
Deion Sanders.
That's something to ponder.
Yeah, that's something for Christmas weekend. Yeah.
Just pondering aloud.
I'm stroking my beard. I'm stroking my beard. You don't see me stroking my beard. So last one for you here. I don't know how much pro ball you're.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, and you know what the answer is, boy. This job ain't for you, boy. I can't even think of a long tenure African American coach or somebody like a Dabo Swinney, somebody like a Mac Brown, somebody like a whoever. Lane Kiffin, this boy that had so many jobs is ridiculous. Steve Sarkisian, Brian Kelly, these people that had jobs for what? These ain't even good coaches. Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, these ain't even good coaches. And now y'all this Dion, cool. But that's why it's all come full circle now, because y'all went 2-10 last year. If you would have got Dion, he would have put his son in the freshman year. You would have had Shedeur Sanders, best quarterback in the nation freshman year. His sophomore year, he brought up Travis Hunter, the number one player in the nation. He was already there anyway. And it would have just been on and popping, on and booming. They wouldn't have to go through a 1 through 11 season or 4. They would have just been on and popping. But y'all messed it up. And that's just really what I wanted to get out here on that conversation. And it's a lot more to that conversation, but I just wanted to talk about the basic part of that conversation. Now, let's see what else he's talking about.
Who's the primetime platform to elevate the program, which I think he's already done. Check that box. He can also bring in fellow Hall of Famers and teammates of mine, Warren Sapp and Michael Irvin. Look at Sapper.
Yeah.
Hashtag not fishing. Okay.
Sapp not fishing.
And Irv. Who, and by the way, if Sapp's going to look at these defensive linemen and tell them something, they'll listen. Irv's going to talk to the receivers, they'll listen. But both of them can speak to the entire team and say, what's up? And they'll listen because they are excellent public speakers. And they come from a position of Hall of Fame strength in their own right.
They come from
So Prime is talking to the media in advance of his first game against TCU, national finalist, the runners-up of last year's college football season. And he was asked about the fact that 2 Miami Hurricanes are coming in. And you know what? His response was something else.
Hurricanes like myself.
Yeah.
And you're a Knoll, my friend.
No. Actually, do you know where I graduated from? Yeah. Who said that? You know everything. She didn't know that. They didn't know that. Tell them again, where did I graduate? I graduated from HBCU. So I'm a who?
Well, you're still a Knoll.
I'm a who? I thought it's where you graduate from, isn't it? Well, how you keep calling me that? It goes to where I graduated from. I'm a HBCU grad.
His school is Talladega. That's where I graduated from. He got a degree from Talladega College before he took the job at Jackson State. He's from an HBCU. Graduated from Talladega. He was valedictorian there. You know why? Because at Talladega, if you're not first, you're last.
Also, I think the NCAA requires head coaches to have a degree.
Yes.
So that's why he did that.
Correct. So he's now getting hammered, certainly by Florida State Seminoles. And I just want to say this. Okay. I don't know if he's going to say this or not. I believe when Mike Norvell, our previous guest, got the gig at Florida State from Memphis. That's a job Prime was interested in. And he was in the spot of his life and his career of saying, look, I'm all about this. You know me. I know you. And other sports give head coaching gigs to people who are top-notch, who have shown they love the coaching profession. They may not have pounded the sticks in the coaching profession, but why not me? And I think Florida State went with Mike Norvell. And so you're asking him, he's a no right now on the eve of being a Colorado Buffalo head coach. That's a non-starter. That page in his life, I believe, is turned. And I have heard him talk about Bobby Bowden and Mickey Andrews. He reveres those people.
And that's what I'm saying. 2-10, Mike Norvell, they messed up the whole generation of what could have been. And Travis Hunter was already coming. Travis Hunter was already coming to Florida State. But God had something different. God had something different in the books, in the playbooks. And it was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. He didn't snake over. Look, Matt B. Great snaked over Florida State. How could you snake over Florida State? That's what I'm saying. These people are really dangerous people. And that's what's so crazy about it. That's really what I wanted to talk about, how they messed up a great situation. Shador Sanders was gonna come. Y'all wouldn't be 2-10. Y'all 2-10 right now. Y'all have lost a lot of credibility right now. I don't even know what's going on with the Florida State program right now. You know, I don't even know what's going on with the Florida State program right now. But I really just want to talk about that, man. And how, like he said, how Deion, Florida State sold Deion. Why he can't, like he said. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about, though, man. Look. That's Deion 15 years ago at Florida State coming through. You know what I'm saying? Come on. The greatest of all time. But like I said, the reason they couldn't hire him because they couldn't hire African American in that position, in that prominent position, where he can hire a Warren Sapp, where he can bring in a Michael Irvin. Even though it's Florida State, it is what it is. They coming for Deion. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't put up Marshall Faulk. They couldn't have all these African Americans gaining that leverage, gaining that power, gaining that notoriety, gaining that position. Now they can't. Now we have a Michael Vick, because if they would have hired him at Florida State and Deion do what he do, Michael Vick probably would have had a Virginia Tech job. You know what I'm saying? Or it would have been more black coaches getting the opportunity at the big leagues, because this wasn't supposed to happen. Deion was just supposed to be a swag HBCU Jackson State kid, but once he flipped Travis Hunter, that's what got him to the next level. And that's why I'm praying it happen to Michael Vick. Hopefully he can get somebody incredible. Hopefully he get an incredible quarterback that he can play with at Norfolk State and then go to the next level, whatever level that is. I mean, whatever school that is. That's what I want to happen with Michael Vick, because that was Island God playing with the Travis Hunter situation. But no, he wouldn't leave because Florida State didn't want him the first time. And it's ridiculous. That's crazy, right?
I said what I said, and I believe what I said.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't apologetic about what I said, and I stood for what I believed. So that was the difference. I don't think they ever seen an African American man stand up for himself at that time besides Muhammad Ali. I never said what I was going to do. I just did it. I never said, oh, I'm going to take one back. I'm going to do. I never said that stuff. I just was very entertaining thereafter in the post game interviews and the pressers. But I was very confident because of my work ethic and my ability. I was very confident. I know I was blessed, but I perfected my gifts. So I was started since a freshman. So what? How would I not think as a senior? I'm the guy after playing baseball for the Yankees at the conclusion of my junior year, then coming back, playing football my senior year and going back to spring training after my senior. What do you think I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, Deion had the Florida State. They had an opportunity to hire Deion Sanders, and they didn't. And they went 2-10. And look at Cam Newton dancing for them people again. Look at him. Look at him. I don't even click on it, but Cam Newton believes Deion should be the future coach of SF. No, they already had that opportunity. They already had it. That was the first dibs. Now they already had that opportunity. But look, Cam Newton going ESPN dancing for them people. Go on dance, boy. And that's because that's who he is. Hating on the kid. There go Deion again 9 years ago. So, talking to the Florida State team. So it was good enough for him to come in, like he said, but it ain't good enough for him to come in, like he said. There you go again, talking to you, feel me?
Let's say that FSU job somehow magically comes open in the next year or two. Say Norvell moves on, whatever. Realistically, if Deion gets that call, do you think he says no, or do you think he's gone?
It's so hard to say.
It's not hard to say. Forget them. And that's all I wanted to talk about. How things could have been so much different if they had just made the right decision. And everybody knew what the right decision was, but like I said, you can't get that opportunity, boy. You can't get that opportunity. You can't have you boys over here trying to coach. Yeah, we can't do that. You can't have you boys over there trying to coach. You boys work for us, boy. Remember that. You boys can't call nothing. And that's all I wanted to talk about, man. And like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me like y'all been rocking with me. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you always live out the dream, man. Peace.